Good morning, everyone. I count it a privilege of great joy and an honor that causes me to tremble. This opportunity to speak about my profession, the job that I love very much. My name is Michael Iteme. I came to America on August 17, 2003, and have been working as a direct support professional on Staten Island for over 13 years now. I love what I do, and I enjoy working with the men and women living in the residences, even though I must work 2 full-time jobs to support my family. Like many of you, I love my family, and I have had many opportunities to build a life here. Building a life with people, friends, and family, it is important. And that is what I love about working with people in their homes, in the residential services in the community. I see people growing and learning, building a life with friends, becoming more independent and enjoying life. It is their home, and though we are direct support professionals, we are like family. It is not always easy. We work no matter the weather, through sickness, through the pandemic. I see dear people getting older and having trouble doing what they used to do easily. We all get older, though. We all have that in common. Therefore, it is so important to have opportunity for people to live in their community and have a place to live, even as they grow old. And we need to support the staff who work with people. They need consistency, a familiar face, people who know and care, people who understand them. Again, we all have this in common. Today, I hope you remember that I, like many of my co-workers, love what we do. We make a difference. We would for you to support us so we can support others. I hope you remember what opportunity residential setting offer people, the choice and the freedom that residential means to many. An apartment or a house, a supervised IRA or an ISS. These are not programs. These are homes. Thank you.
It's always special to hear directly from the DSPs. The last 2 years have been very trying, and I have to tell you that I say this all the time, but the DSPs that have come into work every single day, every single shift, working double time, I say I'd go into a burning building with them because they've been our heroes all the way through this. Speaking next is a past chair of the Staten Island Developmental Disabilities Council and current vice president for residential services at AHRC, Michael Weinberg, who will highlight our issues and offer recommendations for solutions. Mike? That's 3 mics in a row.
That's right. Thank you, Irene. And Michael, thank you for sharing your story, reminding us again the importance of our direct support professionals, dedicated men and women who keep our homes going, and presenting the critical needs of the residential services system. We need to be clear that this does begin with our DSPs. Everything we do starts and ends with our workforce. We've heard from a number of people today that there will be bonuses for staff in this year's budget, for staff who work throughout the pandemic as essential workers, risking their life, their own health, their lives, their safety, and that of their families to take care of others. While these bonuses are encouraging and we're happy to see them, we do need permanent increases, and we must increase the starting salaries for new staff to attract people to this profession. We agree with many of today's legislators in saying increase the bonuses and make them permanent. In addition to this, we have a number of other issues for residential we'd like to discuss. First, we ask that OPWDD work with families, self-advocates, and providers in developing a person-centered approach to attaining residential services to ensure access to the full range of options, including certified, non-certified, and self-directed residential opportunities. Additionally, we ask that OPWDD work with provider agencies and families to consider how current vacancies can be used to best meet the needs of people on the certified residential opportunities list. called the PRO list, while also ensuring that people with emergency and increased medical or behavioral needs will have their supports funded accordingly. We also asked that OPWDD work with providers to better understand current housing availability so that appropriate and timely placements can be made. After all, one size does not fit all. When I first started working in this field over 30 years ago, New York State was well known for the services and supports. It actually were a beacon to the rest of the country, if not internationally, for the services designed to support people with IDD and their families. We went on to foster choice, inclusion, person-centeredness, person-directed services. Never imagined we'd have to remind people that one size does not fit all in 2022. Maybe it's fitting that as we're recognizing the 50th anniversary of the Willowbrook Expose, which does remind us of the horrors that occurred, but also makes us reflect on how much has changed. But it also reminds us, or helps us to remember, that there was a time when OPWDD and our legislators, our government, were true advocates and allies for people with IDD. While we are hopeful that this partnership is being renewed, we've heard a lot from people today, after a decade of cuts, the reality is we're still in a crisis. We must reverse the trend now. After all, it is only fair, it is only right. Our last point this morning, asking that OPWDD begin to prioritize, actually, OPWDD must prioritize people still living at home with aging parents and whose needs surpass their family's ability to safely care for them. Before there's actually a crisis, before there's an emergency. For more on this, let me introduce Donna Long, a parent and seasoned advocate. Thank you.
My name is Donna Long, and I am the proud mom of Janine, a 44-year-old woman diagnosed with autism. My day began today, as it has every day for the past 44 years, worrying about the future for Janine. My daughter, like so many others with intellectual developmental disabilities, have lost their quality of life. Our world has been tremendously altered. For the past 2 years, Janine has had no day have program. She sits in front of a computer screen 4 hours a day, having a Zoom day have. There's no socialization, no interactions with friends or staff. Most days she can't sit the entire time. She will constantly get up and walk around. My husband and I have had to rearrange our work schedules to ensure that one of us is home with her. This lack of service is a result of the workforce crisis. For over 2 years, Janine hasn't had her ComHab service either. In prior years, it was difficult to retain ComHab workers. Now, with the workforce crisis, it's impossible. As a result, she has not gone out to do community activities. Once again, she sits at home. Another issue is residential opportunities are non-existent. My daughter, as I mentioned, is 44 years old, and she is still living at home. As my husband and I turn 70 this year, we wonder what will happen to Janine. Our ability to support her is not the same as it used to be. Every day we wonder, where will our daughter live? Where will our daughter live when we are no longer here? What supports will be available to her? Will there be a dependable direct support workforce to support our daughter on her journey as she approaches her golden years and beyond? Who will ensure her health, safety, and happiness? I've been advocating for over 42 years, and I will continue to do so. But what struggles will Janine face when I am no longer here? I am so scared, and I know I speak for countless other families who are in the same situation. Our children have been forgotten, ignored, and devalued far too long. It's time to make an investment in their future and it starts with the workforce. The workforce crisis is relevant to all the lack of services I mentioned before. Our DSPs are critical to the quality of life for our children. They take care of our children, they care about our children, and we need them. While the budget was promising this year, we have to think beyond the budget. We need a long-term investment in the future for our loved ones. We live with chronic sorrow. Chronic sorrow does not mean we do not feel love or pride for our daughter. Feelings of love coexist with sorrow. Feelings of concern about the future make us think the unimaginable. We ask ourselves, when we are overcome with fear and uncertainty, is it best for our daughter to predecease us so we can leave this world without worrying? This may sound extreme, but is the result of feeling hopeless and helpless. Unfortunately, this is a common thought among so many in our situation. My husband and I want Janine to live in a society and feel safe and belong to a community where she is accepted and valued. We need your help to transform the service system. Our daughter and hundreds of thousands of individuals like her across New York State are depending on all of us. I will end my day today, as I have for the past 44 years, worrying about the future for Janine.
Thank you, Donna. I know that it was difficult to share such personal feelings, but I think that yours is just an example of how way too many parents feel. So we appreciate your opening up and sharing with us.